everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are talking all about bird nests.
Bird nests.
Yeah, they're everywhere, right? We see them, but we don't really think about them.
Right.
But they are incredible examples of natural engineering, and
Yeah.
we've got a great article here called A World of Wonders, Exploring the Diversity of Bird Nests. And it's going to blow your mind what we learn about these little structures.
It really is fascinating when you start to think about it. We often just see a nest as like, a simple pile of twigs or something like that.
Just kind of a random thing.
Yeah, but when you actually delve into it, they're incredibly sophisticated.
They're like tiny houses
Yeah.
designed by nature, and each one is perfectly tailored to the bird that builds it.
Exactly. And to the challenges of the environment that that bird lives in.
I mean, did you know some birds even use thorny branches and stuff in their nests for protection?
Yeah. It's amazing the lengths they go to protect their young.
It's like a little fortress.
It is.
So before we get too far, let's just lay the groundwork.
Bird nests, they're not just like shelters.
Right.
They're more than that. They're like a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of these creatures.
Absolutely.
So let's break down some of the types of nests that we've got here in the article.
Okay, sounds good.
So first off, the one we all know, the cup nest.
Ah, yes, the classic cup nest.
I feel like that's what we all think of
Yeah, it's kind of the blueprint for bird nests.
when we think of a bird nest.
Yeah, you see them everywhere, and they're incredibly versatile. Birds can build them in trees, shrubs on the ground, on buildings.
Yeah, my parents had robins nesting on their porch light every year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the materials they use are just as diverse. Twigs, grasses, mud spider, silk feathers.
It's like they just use whatever they can find.
Yeah, anything they can get their beaks on.
But it always comes out this perfect little bowl shape.
Right. It's amazing how they weave all those materials together to create that sturdy structure.
And then they line it with all this soft stuff.
Yes, the soft lining is essential for the eggs and chicks. Like feathers, fur, and plant down.
Right, all that soft, fluffy stuff that provides insulation.
Insulation, that's got to be key, right?
Absolutely, especially for birds in colder climates.
Yeah.
It's all about maintaining a stable temperature for the developing chicks.
Yeah, just like a little incubator.
Exactly like a natural incubator.
Okay, so cup nests.
Yeah.
They're pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we've all seen them.
But then you've got these scrape nests.
Grape nests, yeah, these are the minimalist approach to nest building.
It's like the bare minimum.
Pretty much just a shallow depression in the ground.
I've seen those, I think, on beaches and stuff.
Yeah, you see them a lot with birds that nest on beaches or open fields, like killdeer.
It just seems so exposed.
It does, but those eggs are remarkably well camouflaged.
Oh, that's true. You can hardly even see them.
Right, camouflage is key for ground nesting birds.
Mhm.
They use materials that blend in with their surroundings, and their eggs often have speckled or patterned coloration that makes them very hard to spot.
It's like they disappear into the landscape.
Exactly.
And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we've got platform nests.
Platform nests. These are the penthouses of the bird world.
Those are the ones that just blow my mind.
Massive, sturdy structures built high up on branches or cliffs.
Yeah, like eagles and ospreys have those huge nests.
Right, they need a solid foundation when you're raising a family of raptors.
That makes sense.
And speaking of prime real estate, we can't forget about cavity nests.
Ah, yes. Cavity nests.
These are all about taking advantage of pre-built homes.
It's like finding the perfect apartment.
Exactly, already furnished and move-in ready.
Yeah, they just take over tree holes or abandoned burrows.
Right, woodpeckers are the master carpenters of the bird world. They excavate their own cavities.
Oh, yeah.
But plenty of other birds, like owls, parrots, and chickadees, are happy to move into existing vacancies.
Makes sense, less work for them.
Definitely.
But you know what really gets me are the pendant nests.
Pendant nests are truly breathtaking.
They're like works of art.
Intricately woven pouches or baskets that dangle from branches.
They look so fragile, but they're actually super strong.
They have to be, especially since they're often exposed to wind and rain.
Yeah, they're made from grasses and fibers and stuff, right?
Right, all those flexible materials that allow the nest to move with the wind.
And then there's the dome nests, the extra cozy option.
Dome nests are like little fortresses.
With a domed structure and a side entrance.
Right, provides extra protection from the elements and predators.
Yeah, those must feel pretty snug inside.
Very snug and secure.
And they're built from all sorts of stuff. Twigs, mud grasses.
Yeah, whatever they can find that works.
So we've got all these different types of nests.
A whole variety.
But what's really cool is that each design is like a solution to a specific challenge.
Absolutely. Every detail from the materials they use to the location they choose reflects a bird's unique adaptation to its environment.
So it's like each nest is a little window into the bird's world.
Exactly, a glimpse into their evolutionary history.
Okay, so we know there's a lot of variety in nest types, but are there any like universal principles or patterns in how birds build their nests?
That's a great question. And while the final forms of their nests vary dramatically, many birds do share some fundamental building techniques.
Oh, so there are some common threads.
Exactly. For example, weaving is a very common strategy, using their beaks and feet to interlace materials.
Like they're natural weavers.
Exactly. They use their bodies as tools.
That's amazing.
Another common technique is mud packing, where birds like swallows and robins mix mud with saliva to create a strong and durable building material.
It's like their own version of concrete.
Exactly, and it dries to a very hard finish.
I've seen robins gathering mud for their nests.
Yeah, they're surprisingly strong, those little birds.
And then there's knot tying.
Knot tying. Some birds use this to secure their nests to branches or other structures.
Seriously, knot tying? How do they do that?
It's all about using their beaks and feet in a very coordinated way to create loops and pulls, much like a human would use their hands.
Ugh, it just blows my mind.
It's really fascinating to watch.
It's like they have these specialized skills just for nest building.
And those skills have been honed over millions of years of evolution.
The more we learn about bird nests, the more I realize how much like ingenuity and adaptability is packed into these structures.
Absolutely. They're truly remarkable feats of engineering.
I'm already starting to look at bird nests with a whole new level of appreciation.
That's the goal.
It's like they're not just nests anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're like these miniature works of art
I like that.
that tell a story about the bird that built them.
And about their place in the world.
So we've talked about the different types of nests and some of the techniques birds use to build them.
Right, the basics.
But what about the materials themselves?
Ah, yes, the materials.
Like, what are some of the more unusual or surprising things that birds incorporate into their nests?
Oh, there's some really interesting ones. Some birds use snake skins.
Snake skins. Ew, why would they do that?
It's thought to be a deterrent to predators.
Oh, so like the smell of the snake?
Yeah, the scent might scare away animals that might want to eat the eggs or the baby birds.
So it's like they're using the snake's own defense against it.
Exactly. It's a pretty clever strategy.
That is clever. Nature is so cool.
And then there's spider silk.
Oh, yeah. Spider silk, that stuff is strong.
Incredibly strong and lightweight.
Perfect for a bird nest.
Right. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to the nest.
So they use it to like bind the nest together.
Yeah, it adds strength and flexibility.
So we've got snake skins, spider silk. What other weird stuff do birds use in their nests?
Well, some birds have started incorporating human-made materials.
Oh, no, like plastic and stuff.
Sometimes, unfortunately. But there are also birds that use things like yarn string, even cloth scraps.
It's kind of sad that they have to resort to using our trash.
It is a reflection of the impact we're having on their environment.
But I guess it also shows how adaptable they are.
That's true. They're very resourceful creatures.
I've even seen birds using like bits of wire in their nests.
Yeah, some species of swallows have adapted to nesting in barns and other structures, and they often use wire or string to reinforce their mud nests.
So they're taking advantage of the materials we provide.
Exactly. And in a way, they're helping us out, too, by controlling insect populations around our homes and farms.
It's like a mutually beneficial relationship.
Exactly. A reminder that we can coexist with nature.
This whole discussion about nest materials is fascinating.
It really is. There's so much variety and ingenuity.
It makes you realize that there's a lot more to bird nests than meets the eye.
Absolutely. They're not just random piles of twigs and leaves.
Right. They're carefully constructed structures that reflect the bird's unique needs and adaptations.
Each nest is a little story.
So we've talked about the different types of nests and the materials birds use.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the design aspect?
To design.
Yeah, like do birds have an aesthetic sense?
That's a fascinating question.
Do they care about how their nests look?
Well, while we can't know for sure what's going on in a bird's mind, there is some evidence to suggest that some birds pay attention to the visual appeal of their nests.
Really? Like how?
Some birds meticulously arrange the materials in their nests.
So they're not just throwing stuff together randomly.
Not necessarily. Some birds seem to have a sense of order and design.
Interior decorators.
And then there's nest decoration,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
where birds add elements that seem to have no purpose other than to make the nest look more attractive.
Like bowerbirds. Right.
Bowerbirds are the masters of nest decoration.
They build those crazy, elaborate structures.
Exactly, to attract mates.
It's like their way of showing off.
But they're not the only ones. Many other bird species decorate their nests.
What kinds of things do they use?
Flowers, feathers, shiny objects.
I wonder if there's a practical purpose to those decorations.
There's a lot of debate about that. Some scientists think it might help camouflage the nest or signal the bird's health to potential mates.
Or maybe it's just about making their home look nice.
Could be a combination of factors, both aesthetic and functional.
I guess we'll never really know for sure.
But it's fun to speculate.
It is. With birds using human-made materials in their nests.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's a sign that they're adapting to our increasingly urbanized world?
It's certainly possible. As natural habitats shrink, birds are having to find new ways to survive.
It makes you wonder what the future holds for them.
It does. It's a big question, but one thing's for sure, birds are incredibly resilient.
They've been around for a long time.
Millions of years.
And they've survived all sorts of changes.
They've adapted to ice ages, to volcanic eruptions.
So maybe they can adapt to us, too.
We can only hope.
Because we need them.
We do. They play such important roles in our ecosystem.
This has been a really eye-opening conversation.
It's been great talking to you about bird nests.
I feel like I have a whole new appreciation for these amazing structures.
Me too.
Yeah.
They really are a marvel of nature.
And the birds that create them.
Such fascinating creatures.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
But there's still more to explore in the world of bird nests.
Oh, definitely. We've only just scratched the surface.
It's amazing to think about all the different types of bird nests.
It really is. From those simple scrape nests to those elaborate woven pendants.
Yeah, it's incredible how much diversity there is.
So much ingenuity.
And they're not just about shelter.
Right.
They're also tied to a bird's behavior and social interactions. Like we were talking about nest decoration earlier.
Yeah, nest decoration is fascinating.
What else can you tell us about that?
Well, like we said with bowerbirds, it's all about attracting a mate.
Right. It's like their way of showing off.
Exactly. Those elaborate bowers are like advertisements.
But what about other birds that decorate their nests?
Well, some birds decorate with aromatic herbs or plants.
Oh, that's interesting. Why would they do that?
It could be for a couple of reasons.
Like what?
Well, it could be like a natural air freshener.
Oh, that makes sense. Keep the nest smelling nice.
But some scientists also think that those plants might have antibacterial or insecticidal properties.
Oh, so it's like a built-in pharmacy.
It could be helping to protect the nestlings from parasites and disease.
That's pretty smart.
And then there are birds that decorate with brightly colored objects.
Like what kinds of things?
Flowers, feathers, sometimes even bits of plastic.
Plastic? Really?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it shows how birds are adapting to our increasingly urbanized world.
It's kind of sad, but also impressive.
It is a reminder that they're constantly adapting and innovating.
Speaking of adapting, we can't forget about the impact of humans on bird nesting.
Right.
We talked about habitat loss.
Mm-hmm.
But what are some of the other challenges birds are facing?
Well, climate change is a big one.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, rising temperatures are altering the timing of breeding seasons for a lot of birds.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, it can create mismatches between when birds are nesting and when food sources are most abundant.
So the birds might be ready to have babies, but there's not enough food to feed them.
Exactly. And that can lead to lower nesting success.
That's heartbreaking.
And climate change is also causing more extreme weather events,
Oh, right, like storms and floods.
which can damage or destroy nests and kill nestlings.
It's tough out there for birds these days.
It is. They're facing a lot of challenges.
So what can we do to help?
Well, there are a lot of things individuals can do.
Like what?
Planting native trees and shrubs in your yard,
Okay.
reducing or eliminating your use of pesticides,
Makes sense.
keeping your cat indoors,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
and, of course, supporting conservation organizations that are working to protect bird habitats.
All great ideas. I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about bird nests.
I think so.
It's been such a fascinating deep dive.
It really has.
I've learned so much.
Me too.
And to our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this journey into the incredible world of bird nests.
They really are amazing.
And by learning about them and taking action to protect them, we can help ensure that these fascinating creatures continue to thrive.
For generations to come.
Thanks for listening.